Hey guys, welcome to the new studio. I'm super stoked about this. The room is not done yet. We're painting the walls, but we're starting work tomorrow. I made a commitment to post a video pretty regularly here weekly. I'm doing pretty good. I'm batting 99%. Missed 1 week, but we're not gonna miss this week. Let me get you a video out here. Today we're talking about SENA Intercom systems and how important basically any intercom system is for your day-to-day applications, and why we chose SENA and SENA. Doesn't really matter how you want to say it. And yeah, cool new products that they have to offer this year. So yeah, we're starting work tomorrow. We take our winters off. All the guys do different stuff. It's a lifestyle, right? You have to attract the kind of people that want to work with you, that want to do the same thing as you. So some people want to work all winter long, and that's fine. You'll find staff for that. For me, I like to chill in the winter. Chill. I mean, there's stuff to work on the business. I like to take a little vacation with my family. I like to play hockey with my kids. So you have to dedicate time for stuff that you want to do. Don't be a slave to your business. Work starts tomorrow. We are very stoked. 4 new guys starting up. And when James joined the company at the end of 2019, he showed me, these initial first Smh-10 intercom systems from SENA, and we're like, this is amazing. We can chat all day, safety-wise, efficiency-wise. Whenever there's communication that's always present, I find your days can fly by a lot quicker and jobs advance a lot quicker as well due to the efficiency factor of having communications. Now, we're not even talking about safety yet, right? We'll get into that a little bit later, but just in simple enjoyment and efficiency-wise, this is huge. All right, so we started off with the basic Smh-10 systems in end of 2019 as we moved into 2020 and onwards, right? So that kind of system, much like the second generation that we got afterwards, which is the SENA ST1, is, long story short, it's a motorcycle intercom system that you splice into an Arborist helmet. So to do that, you have to make holes into the muffs. You have to jam these standard ear muffs with these little pads on the inside, little speakers, and your microphone boom, you'll have to drill a hole in for it as well. And then you can clip it into your helmet. We had decent longevity with these ones. I think of all these wired, under $400 units, the Smh-10 was bomb-proof, although it can only take up to 4 users. See, this one is actually brand new. And at that point, I was not wanting to ever go without a SENA unit. We were just so used to always having the communication and never wanted to be down a unit. So what I did is that I bought a couple extras, and we still have a few of these extras that are brand new, never used, and we're not going to be using them anymore because we've since upgraded to better units. But yeah, these units, advantage, cheap, very cheap, under $400 you can get set up and connected, and I can open one of these up and I'll show you guys exactly how to do it. You have to, make a little groove on one side to put in the wires. You can take out this little foam packet. And there they'll give you a nice little Velcro, and you'll put in your speaker underneath the cup. You can put everything back, and you'll have to make a little bit of a bigger hole that you'll have to drill through on the other side for your boom mic. What I didn't like about this is that sometimes the wires would get pinched, they would rip, and parts are so hard to come across for this. Sometimes you'd have only one sound in one ear, for example, which was not that pleasant, or you'd have your microphone which would give out. It happened, on average, probably to 1 set per year, something would go wrong in one way, shape, or form with this kind of system. But it's very cheap, and that's why I had many different units, because if something went wrong, we could easily replace it. So we used this for an entire year and a half, probably almost 2 years. Let's just say 2 years. Then we graduated to the ST1. The ST1 was similar, just a little bit better sound. There was a bit less static, for example, and similar installation and similar in price as well. They were about $250 to $300 max Canadian dollars per unit. Very cheap way to get communication on. Now, the number one thing I don't like about splicing an intercom system like this into your earmuffs is that these become full of stuff. They come with, you're gonna have your foam on the inside, and there's not a lot of room left, and it's less comfortable inside whenever it's pushing up against your ear. And also, I believe that you're losing some dB ratings since you are stuffing these little shells full of pads. So we were eagerly looking for a different alternative, and we shopped around. We looked at, you know, Cardo, we looked at all these different ones, 3M, Peltor, etc. There's so many different companies that make other kind of systems, if it's like a motorcycle one or if it's like an all-in-one. We were exploring, you know, the standard Protoss all-in-one, which resembles like this, but it has buttons and you're able to have intercom through that. What we didn't like about that is that it was only on one ear. We talked to the guys, and the consensus was with our crew that we'd like to be able to communicate and at least be able to hear throughout both ears, so that was a no-go for us. You might want to explore that. It's a pretty, I think it's around $600 Canadian. Quick, in and out, you're able to get on and get chatting with your crew and start working a lot safer. Let's talk about that real quick. You know, we're doing tree work. Loud chippers, loud chainsaws, pieces of wood flying left, right, and center, equipment driving around, backing up trucks down streets. And you know, yeah, you can pull out your phone and talk on the phone like that, but to be able to be hands-free and have an intercom system that you can use to be able to keep in touch with the crew, many different people at once, instantaneously, is irreplaceable. If you told me, Phil, you're starting off 2024 and you cannot have communication systems on your helmets, that would drastically change the safety protocols you'd have to put in place. That would drastically change workplace enjoyment and also efficiency. And for me, it would be a serious, serious downer. So our intercom systems are so important for our everyday operations. I can't express that enough. We were so hyped. This was 2023, 2022. In spring of 2022, we got our hands on something that we thought was going to be amazing, and it really, really was for the time being. It is called the SENA Tuff Talk M, and there's many different kind of Tuff Talks. You'll see like a Tuff Talk Lite. You'll see basic ones, you know, in the $400 to $500 range. This was, I think, in the $650 range Canadian. I didn't care. I bought 6 or 7. Our friends at MLR, thank you guys. They hooked us up. We got a good deal. We bought, I think I got 6 or 7 units. I just wanted to have 2 extras in case something would happen, because, you know, you're learning new technology, and not every one of these units have been 100%, and I never wanted to go a day without it. And I, you know, planning for new employees down the road, let's buy a whole bunch, and I still have some of those brand new today that I'll be installing for some helmets for the employees tomorrow. Yeah, I got some new guys starting this week, which is pretty fun. So what's cool and new of this kind of technology? Around this time, SENA was starting to use their mesh network. And mesh network was not riding on Bluetooth like these other older units were, right? So the mesh essentially could connect other people instantaneously without you trying to figure out how to get into an intercom system and tap into a network. So the mesh was great. Connect immediately, great reception. You could speak from a longer distance. And what I loved about this system is that I found a hack how to make it fit directly into the Protoss brackets without having to do a crazy splice. And you say, Phil, where are all the wires? Well, this is it. You only have one wire that goes out the back, and you can just tuck away down here. That's it. That's all. Now, it's all about these little nipples that you'll see inside on the side of these earmuffs. This had to fit inside a bracket. It did not fit into the standard Protoss bracket that you would have for the earmuffs. It fit into a special 3M adapter Protoss bracket, and with a little modification, I put a little zip tie in there to thicken it up. Long story short, guys, this was a game changer. I found a way how to make it fit. It was a bit more expensive. We had to buy $50 or $60 3M brackets, plus around the $600 more or less for the earmuffs. Costly, absolutely costly, more expensive than these. So what did we gain? We gained a lot more comfort. You did not have all those pads inside jamming in your ears, and you know, these, they turn rock solid so quickly. These ones, they stayed a lot plusher a lot longer, a lot more ease of operation. We had less issues as far as wires breaking, but 0 issues regarding wires breaking or microphones losing connection, right? We had 100% on all those. We had some issues though with battery life, and I think it was the downfall. You have to really be on your upgrades. You have to upgrade all units at the same time, you know, with the SENA software on your computer. You have to make sure you do that right off the bat. If there's ever an issue, you have to reset it. We had a couple units that were completely duds. We had no idea what happened. SENA was good, and they were able to return them and replace them for us, and we were tremendously stoked to be able to keep on working on the season with the Tuff Talk amp. Now, what do you lose? What's the negative? You can't tuck these back behind your headphones, you're like into the helmet as you would a standard Pro Toss. So some people like to tuck them away. We gave that up. We didn't have that anymore. And you know what? It's something you just live with. You can take them off a little bit to let some air get into your ears to dry off your ears. But we lost the ability to be able to tuck them away. So that was the only downfall, I think, of this. So improved sound, longevity, improved overall noise protection. But still, we found that, you know, we had a couple of units that were duds, and that was a little disappointing. You're spending $600, $700, $800 on a unit, maybe all together with these fancy brackets, and we're saying, we just wish that something would be just a little bit better. And last year, our prayers were answered. SENA came out with their latest modification to this like Tuff Talk series, but it's called the CAST, C-A-S-T. And this unit, I've been rocking for half of last season and into, and I will be all of this year as well. This is their latest piece of technology. So the CAST unit has many of the same features as the Tuff Talk amp, except the bonus is that you don't need to buy the special brackets. You can take your standard brackets that you would have had on your Pro Toss, and you can take these CAST units and they clip directly in. As soon as I found that out, I was so stoked. I said, that's amazing. That's going to save everybody that wants to buy this at least, you know, 50, 60 bucks, whatever, that 3M bracket, plus the time to fiddle around. This is an instantaneous fix. You can take this CAST unit and you can instantly throw it onto your existing Pro Toss helmet. It even comes with like the brackets. If you have a cask or whatever, you can clip it into there and you're good to go. What's new with these? There's a mute button, which is tremendously helpful. There's also a ambient noise button, which is really cool. So if you want to talk to someone but you still have your headphones on, you click the ambient noise button, you're essentially able then to speak to someone that's directly on the other side of you. It cancels out your microphone if you're other homies, and then you can connect back in. You know, there's radio. There's tons of different features. Also runs on the mesh network, which is going to be standard right now, I believe, with all of the new SENA units. That's a new technology, right? Bluetooth is, for the most part, a thing of the past. Their wire is a nicer wire. It's not as flat, like almost like a, if any Italians are watching this, I apologize. Oh, come on, my favorite pasta, fettuccine alfredo. Yeah, it's not like a fettuccine noodle. It's a bit thicker, almost the size of, I don't know, way bigger than a spaghetti noodle, that's for sure. But this wire I find is a lot more robust. This is an industrial version of a helmet. This helmet is meant to go right up against, you know, the 3M Peltor. Go look at that. That's over $1,000. And I was expecting this to be there. I was willing to stomach it. They're listing right now around $975 Canadian, which is pretty expensive, I thought. And then I started doing the math, and I started doing the math about, you know, what would I do without this? Are there any other alternatives? And, you know, frankly, there are not. We're going to be loading up on these. We still have some old units we're going to get through. If ever they need replacing, we're going CAST. Now, one other huge advantage to the CAST unit that I haven't talked about yet is the replaceable battery. No one likes getting to the end of a work day and it's 3 p.m. you have a bit longer and you've run out of your battery. Many different factors can come into play when we were talking about the longevity of a battery on a helmet. It could be the range, it could be obstacles in the way, it could be weather, no charging temperature that you charge your batteries at the night before. But look at that, removable battery pack. You pop out the battery pack, you pop it back in. You can even throw in 3 AAA batteries in here in a pinch if you are super stuck. Whenever you buy this, it comes with a charger and 2 batteries. So you will never go through a day, unless you're working 24 hours nonstop, you're not gonna go through a normal work day and lose battery on your helmet, which honestly could be frustrating sometimes if you had no other choice and your helmet was cutting out at 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. for different reasons. There's not much that is more frustrating than that, especially if you're doing a crane job or you're doing some work that absolutely requires you to be in communication. It's something you just become used to. And I'm glad that SENA came up with something that can assure that we can get to the end of our work days. Oops, sorry about that. My camera battery died and here I am again. So I think what I was saying is that I'm tremendously stoked that SENA has come up with an alternative to make sure that we can get through our days without running out of battery. That is such an important thing for me and my business and me and my industry, and perhaps you and yours. So just that fact that you can come to 2 batteries and you're able to swap that out on the go is worth so much peace of mind knowing that you're not going to be left stranded. You know, there's many different kind of companies out there. You know, you look at cheap and you look at expensive. I look at SENA as a company that's kind of been there for a very long time. They've been in the communication sphere, for a very long time. They have a lot of stuff going on in the motorcycle sphere, and now they're in the industrial sphere as well. And the wind cancellation and the noise cancellation on this is really, really good. I feel every single unit that we got as we progressed along with them, it just kept on getting better and better, and we are tremendously stoked to see what is going to come up next in the future. But for now, we are rocking the SENA Cast all this year. We're going to buy more units. You're going to see us using these every single day. You know what? Don't just take my word for it. Do your due diligence. Look around and ask people, hey, what kind of intercom systems do you use? And you'll see the majority of people, majority of big companies are using SENA. I've seen big box companies around here. Everyone's on the Tuff amps. I'm sure they're going to be upgrading to these eventually. You can have smaller outfits that might be on a bit of a budget. You might go for, an easier, cheaper unit that you can just splice into your helmet. Any communication is better than no communication. You got to start somewhere. No matter where you start, work connected, work safely. Have a good year, guys. We're stoked to get started tomorrow, and I can't wait to get started. Peace out.